Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new chapter of ninth standard, that is tissue. So we will start with the definition of tissue. So tissue can be defined as a group of cells having similar origin, structure and function. And the study of tissue is called histology. So, if we talk about unicellular organisms like amoeba, they have only a single cell which performs all the basic functions. But if we talk about multicellular organisms like we human beings, plants and animals, they have division of labor among them. So, there are two types of tissue, plant tissue and animal tissue. First of all, we will discuss about plant tissue. Plant tissue is of two types, meristematic and permanent tissue. So let's start with meristem. The meristem are the tissue having power of cell division. They have power of cell division and they are found in those region of the plant which grows. Means they are found in the growing region or apex region of the plants. There are different three types of meristematic tissue. The first one is apical meristems. Apical meristems are those tissue which are present at the growing tip, जो growing tip of plants में present होंगे, like stem, roots, and it increases the length of plant. Its main function is to increase the length of plants. Now, next type is the lateral meristems. It is present on the lateral sides of the stem and root. For example, we can say cambium, and it increases the girth or we can say breadth of the tree. Apical meristem increases length, lateral meristem increases girth, and the last one is intercalary meristem. They are present at the nodes and internodes on the base of leaves, and it increases the length between the nodes. The plant have nodes on it and the length between the nodes increases with the help of intercalary meristems. Now we will talk about permanent tissues. Permanent tissue is of two types. First one is simple permanent tissue and second is complex permanent tissue. So let's start with simple permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue is further divided in parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma are tissue which provide support to the plant. It provides support to the plants. They are loosely packed and they have intercellular spaces among them. Parenchyma have chlorophyll which perform photosynthesis. As you know, plants perform photosynthesis. The parenchyma with large air spaces, it gives buoyancy to the plants. So, the buoyancy force is basically present in case of aquatic plants so that they can float on water. Next one is collenchyma. Collenchyma provides mechanical support and it have thickening at its corners. The collenchyma have thickening at its corner and they have very little intercellular space, or we can say it has less intercellular space as compared to parenchyma. Next one is sclerenchyma. Tissue makes the plant hard and stiff. The hardness of the plant is because of sclerenchymatous tissue. The tissues are dead and commonly seen in the husk of coconut. It is a basic example of sclerenchyma. Now next is guard cells and epidermal tissue. So if we talk about guard cells, the guard cells are present in cells. The tissue aids in protection and exchange of gases. Guard cells helps the tissues in the exchange of gases. गार्ड सेल्स बेसिकली है किडनी शेप्ड सेल्स होते हैं जो डाइकोट प्लांट्स में होते हैं. दे हेल्प इन एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस एंड दे कैरी आउट फोटोसिंथेसिस. द एपिडर्मल टिश्यू ऑफ रूट aids in absorption of water and minerals. The function of epidermal tissue is absorption of water and minerals, and function of guard cells is to give the exchange of gases. It has coating of cutin which is waterproof quality. We can say that in the leaves there is coating of cutin that provides waterproof quality. Next is complex permanent tissue. The second type of tissue is complex permanent tissue. They are made up of more than one type. The different types of complex permanent tissue are xylem and phloem. Xylem consists of different four components. They are tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. They have thick cell walls. The cells have thick walls. In case of phloem, it consists of four components, that is sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. The function of the phloem is to transport food material to other parts. So that's all about plant tissues. We have talked about two types of tissue, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue is of three types, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Whereas complex permanent tissue is of two types, that is xylem and phloem. Now let's talk about animal tissue. Animal tissue is divided as epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue is a protective covering forming a continuous sheet. We can say epithelial tissues are present in each and every body part of we humans. Simple epithelium is the one which is extremely thin in one layer, whereas stratified epitheliums are arranged in patterns of layers. If we talk about stratified epithelial, then we can give the example of our skin. Skin is an example of stratified epithelial tissue. Second type of epithelial tissue is squamous epithelium. It is present in the lining of mouth and esophagus. So the lining is basically the inner boundary of any of the organ. Just suppose we have our trachea. Trachea have outer lining and inner lining. Outer lining is called covering and inner lining is called lining. So it is next is cuboidal epithelial. It is present in the lining of kidney tubules and salivary glands. Now next type of epithelial tissue is columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium is present in intestine and columnar epithelium with cilia. It has ciliated and cilia helps in movement. So the basic example is respiratory tract. Next type of tissue is glandular epithelium tissue. In the gland aids in special functions as gland cell which secretes the epithelial surface. It secretes the different type of glands. Next type of tissue is connective tissue. Connective tissue has been divided in blood and plasma. The blood consists of RBC, WBC and platelets. RBCs are red blood cells, WBCs are white blood cells and platelets. Blood plasma contains proteins, salts and hormones. Connective tissue is basically divided in blood and plasma. Blood consists of RBC, WBC and platelets, whereas plasma consists of proteins, salts and hormones. Next one is bone. The bone is a connective tissue with hard matrix. It has hard matrix and it is composed of calcium and phosphorus. The matrix of bone is composed of calcium and phosphorus. A bone is connected by another bone with another connective tissue called ligament. So we can say ligament is a connective tissue which connects one bone to the another bone. A bone is connected by muscle with tendons. Ligaments connects a bone with another bone, whereas a bone is connected with muscles with the help of tendons. Next is cartilage. The cartilage is a connective tissue with solid matrix composed of proteins and sugars. Its matrix is composed of proteins and sugars and it is found in the soft bony part, or we can say it makes the surface of the bone soft. Example, nose, ear, trachea and larynx. Next is areolar connective tissue. Areolar connective tissue is found between skin and muscles around the blood vessels. It is found in skin and muscles around our blood vessels and it supports the organs. Next is adipose connective tissue. Adipose connective tissue is basically fat globules. It contains fat. The storage of fat is present in adipose connective tissue, and it acts as insulator as it traps the heat of our body inside the body only. Next is muscular connective tissue. Muscular tissue is, they have special contractile proteins responsible for movement. Muscular tissue is having special contractile proteins. Contractile proteins helps in the contraction and relaxation of muscles. So it is also of three type. First one is striated muscles, skeletal muscles, or voluntary muscles. So we can identify it with the help of name. Voluntary muscles are the muscles which are controlled by us. We can control these muscles. They are cylindrical, unbranched, and multinucleated. They have dark bands and light bands. Due to these dark band and light band, they are called striated muscles. We can control it, so they are called voluntary muscles. Next type of muscle is unstriated or smooth muscles or involuntary muscles. So here it is involuntary, so we don't have any control on these type of muscles. Next is cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles are generally related to heart only. They are cylindrical, branched, and uninucleate. The next type of tissue is nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is the tissue which is responsible for the response to the stimuli. Any of the stimuli, any action that we take is due to the nervous tissue. The brain, spinal cord, and the nerves are composed of nervous tissue or neurons. A neuron consists of cell body, cytoplasm, and nucleus, and it has dendrites and axons that help in sending the message from one place to another place. The neuron impulse allow us to move our muscles when we want to respond to stimuli. So whatever the actions we are performing, that is because of our nervous tissue. So that's all about tissue. If you have any kind of queries, you may contact with the help of comment box. Thank you and have a good day.